Season 2 of the most heretical last boss queen from Villainess to Savior did a small time skip, aging up the characters between seasons, which felt a little jarring.
They really did buff Pride's assets. Like, how can Stale teleport so many more people now?
They had also set up a fairly strong expectation in the beginning that Stale was going to be her fiance and prince consort, but then all of a sudden season 2 is throwing other fiancés at us without explanation as to why the plan changed. I think this season suffered most from having its focus orbit around these two new male characters and having to visit their countries. This setup made it so that we barely got to enjoy the character dynamics we'd established and enjoyed from the first season. And it feels a little frustrating to have Pride go poking her nose into other countries' problems when she's been so worried about the affairs of her own country. Considering that protecting her family and Frisia from conflict was her driving force last season, it made focusing externally feel a little weird.
I liked that we were introduced to more of the world this season, but it was a little hard to get invested in them at this point, especially with where we left off at the end of this season. But hopefully the world will continue to be fleshed out in a season 3 if we get it.
The first 4 episodes were dedicated to solving Prince Leon's problems and bringing him into the harem. Making political alliances. And while the actions of Pride in the game have always been awful, what she did to Leon in the game backstory was especially dark to watch. From episode 7 until the ending, the time is dedicated to Prince Cedric. I think dealing with him is the angriest we've ever seen Pride, and I felt that alongside her because he was frustrating. It's here that events finally begin to diverge from her game knowledge, though. She mentions before they deploy to Cedric's country that the timeline of his brother's illness, for example, doesn't line up anymore.
This is another of those moments that really did feel like events of the game may happen regardless of what she does, as the world seems to still be playing out the main story beats at least.
Well, it leads me to question if there's another outside force exerting influence on the story that she's not aware of.
Like, a final boss? That isn't her?
Which means it must be said that there was still no resolution regarding the sneaky dude from the hot air balloon. He gets like 2 minutes of screen time per season and then just dips. The final episode leaving us at the dawn of a major international war was certainly a choice. And with the previous gap of 3 years between seasons, it makes me depressed thinking about how long we'll have to wait for the conflict resolution.
This was disappointing, but at least we wrapped up as much as we could with getting the preparations of the war in place, and we weren't left right in the middle of combat at least.
It's probably personal bias, but I was a little disappointed with season 2, so it was just a fine 6 out of 10.